Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Furlong, and today we're going to look at different types of reactions. Although there are many different kinds of reactions, we can break them down into one of about 5 different types, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The first is called a synthesis reaction. Now this comes from the word to synthesize or to build. And here we take two smaller substances and we combine them to form a larger substance. So an example of this is if we were to take hydrogen gas and add it to oxygen gas, give it a little bit of energy, we can make water, H2O. So notice we have two small molecules and we make a larger molecule, a synthesis reaction. The second type is a decomposition reaction. So this is actually like the opposite of a synthesis. To decompose means to break down. So in a decomposition reaction, one substance will break down into two or more smaller substances. An example of this is if we were to take hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, and we break it down into water and oxygen gas. If you've ever used hydrogen peroxide on a cut and you see all those bubbles forming, this is the reaction that's taking place. The bubbles that form are oxygen bubbles, and what's left over on your skin is just water. But hydrogen peroxide is a poison, so we put that on cuts to kill the bacteria. The third type of reaction is called a single displacement reaction. This is also known as a single replacement reaction, different names for the same thing. Here, one element replaces another element. So for instance, copper and silver nitrate. The copper is going to replace the silver to form copper nitrate, and then we get silver. What happens? The copper has a greater affinity to the nitrate. The nitrate would rather be attached to the copper than the silver, so the copper replaces the silver. The fourth type is a double displacement reaction. So in this case, the two positive ions will switch with one another. An example of this is barium nitrate and potassium sulfate. The barium kicks out the potassium so that it can combine with the sulfate, and the potassium then will trade places with barium so that it is with the nitrate. So we end up with barium sulfate and potassium nitrate. And the last reaction is a combustion reaction. In a combustion reaction, you get a substance reacting with oxygen, and as one of the products forms an oxide. So for instance, here we see methane. Methane is a type of a gas. It reacts with oxygen. Now we need something to get that reaction going, but what we form then is carbon dioxide, so there's our oxide, and then as another byproduct, water is formed. Again, there's many different kinds of reactions, but for many of them, they can potentially fit into one of these 5 types. We're going to continue practicing with these 5 types of reactions, and I'll see you in class.